Right, 24 March 2021, and today we've got another interesting topic that we're dealing with, and this is going to be a very, very significant development in Zimbabwe. I take this as a turning point in the politics of Zimbabwe, as what happened today has never happened in the past, where the leader of an opposition party, a big opposition party like the MDCT, was invited and attended a function together with government officials from the government of ZANU-PF. So if you look in the past, there has been an antagonistic relationship between the government of Zimbabwe and opposition parties. But today, Douglas Mwonzora was in Victoria Falls together with ED Mnangagwa, General Chiwenga, the intelligence officers, so the senior intelligence and security officials like Owen Muda, Isaac Moyo. They were all there. And there was a formal invitation that was sent out to Douglas Mwonzora to come and attend that meeting. And if you go to Gambakwe Media now, you are going to see the letter that was written, and this letter was written to Mwonzora, invitation to attend the launch of the second phase of the vaccination program in Victoria Falls. But what is very interesting about this particular meeting is that everyone who was in this meeting is also in POLAD. So everyone who attended this meeting is also a member of POLAD. And I want to quickly show you, I wanted to share with you the screen here. But let me first of all show you the picture of who was there. So if you look here on this screen, you are going to see that right next to Douglas Mwonzora is Linda Masarira. And next on the right is Vincent Changirai. And then obviously these are the people around here. And I think you understand how significant this is. Linda is a very, very strange character. I don't know where to place Linda, and I do not know what she is doing here. However, I want to show you who else was there, and the best way to do this is to let ED Mnangagwa speak. So he named everyone who was there. So let me just quickly play that clip.
We have Honorable M. Zapasi, DAVID President from Bindura. Honorable W.T. Mugadza, BCP Party President, Peru. Honorable Netanyahu, not from Israel, is local, ZIPP President. We have Honorable T. Chikohora, CORD President. We have Honorable H.P. Wilson, DOP Party President. We have Honorable Mutenge Zanwa, UANC President. We have Honorable D.M. Obe, NAPDR President. We have, I didn't see him, Honorable Maduku, NCA President. Honorable Shumba, NPF President. Honorable P. Mugadza, UDM Vice President. Honorable A. Shoko, UDF Vice President. Honorable E. Chikanga, ZRP Party President. Honorable K. Slavangana, ZP president. We have Honorable F. Dana /1980 president. Then the staff. If someone who is seated here and your president has not been named, it's not my fault.
Right. So you can see there that Mnangagwa was taking a jibe at Chamisa. Chamisa was not invited to this meeting. So what Mnangagwa is doing here, he is basically setting up the stage to officially appoint Douglas Mwonzora as the official leader of the opposition. So I'm predicting that within a very short space of time, you're going to see some sort of a deal between Mnangagwa and Mwonzora, where Mwonzora is going to be officially appointed and he's going to take up a position in the government of ED Mnangagwa. Mwonzora has already said he's been waiting for an invitation from Mnangagwa. He had made the approach, and now Mnangagwa has reciprocated, and now the talks have begun. The very first thing that happened is that Thokozani Kupe was displaced. So you see that today, Thokozani Kupe was not there among the leaders. She is no longer in POLAD. The position of Kupe has been taken over by Mwonzora within POLAD. You will remember that the MDCT officially, they passed a resolution that they're not going to go to POLAD. They want a genuine dialogue. So what Mwonzora is doing here is not what was agreed by the MDCT. There is a reason behind him going to POLAD. And according to my sources, the reason why Mwonzora has decided to take this route is because that he's been advised that if he takes this route, he's going to get protection, especially from the challenge that is going to come from Thokozani Kupe. So if he goes into POLAD, Kupe will have no leg to stand on. She won't be able to challenge him. And whatever she tries to take over the presidency of the MDCT will not work. Secondly, you remember that when we were talking to the guys from the United States of America a few weeks back, they had said they're going to open a case of theft against Mwonzora. That is for an amount of $6 million. And that case is dead in the water because Mwonzora has strategically aligned himself with ED Mnangagwa. There is no way a case like that is going to go. Even if they got the police right now, that is not going to work. Nothing is going to happen there. So you can expect that within a very short space of time, Mwonzora is going to be, I won't be surprised even if he takes over the position that was left by the Vice President Kembo Mohadi in some sort of government of national unity. But listen to what Mwonzora said when he was given a chance to talk. So Mwonzora was given a chance to talk at this event, and he said something very, very interesting.
We have adopted a new philosophy, a new way of doing our politics. First of all, we must be guided by what is in the best interest of our people, what is in the best interest of the Zimbabwean masses. It must be the Zimbabweans first, and our political self-aggrandizement second. Your Excellency, on my part, on the part of my part, we urge a new politics in this country. Gone are the days of politics of rancor, acrimony, violence, hate, and intolerance. We want to substitute this with the politics of rational disputation and tolerance. You are because I am. I am because you are.
Right. So Mwonzora here is setting the stage. He's setting himself up as the leader of the opposition. And Mnangagwa is allowing him to take that position. It will be a missed opportunity, and it will be very unstrategic for Mwonzora to move back from this position. It will also be very unstrategic for Mnangagwa to just leave the situation the way it is, because that will make Chamisa very, very strong. If Mwonzora is appointed into government right now in some form of GNU, Chamisa will be effectively neutralized. There's nothing that Chamisa will be able to do after this moment, because if Mwonzora has access to resources in government, it's going to be very, very interesting, and it's going to be very difficult for Chamisa to come back from this. Most of the leaders who are in parliament right now, they have been aligned to Mwonzora. In fact, they were aligned to the party of Mwonzora, the MDCT, because they did not want to leave. You saw how difficult it is, and it was, even for people like Tendaibit, to leave parliament. They could not quit. Imagine now if Mwonzora is allowed to appoint his own people in government, to give them ministerial positions, to give them cars. It will be very difficult for Chamisa to come back from that one, because many of the people that are currently in parliament, they're in politics because they've got no other option. So it's going to be very, very difficult. And this will be a strategic move for Mnangagwa to appoint Mwonzora into government. So I want to end it here. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to talk to Senator Mwonzora sometime. I want to bring him here. I've been making that attempt. So I want to bring him here, and we discuss his visit or his agreement to go and deal with the people in POLAD. Is this the official entry of MDCT into POLAD? Is this the beginning of a dialogue between the MDCT and ZANU-PF? And what is the end game? Because remember, Mwonzora had said they want to go into the dialogue, and they've created a position paper. So we want to find out what is that position paper that they've created when they want to go into that dialogue. So let's quickly look at these comments. Nasty boy, Mwonzora must stay where he belongs, a ZANU-PF light. Ikoko. Right, I tend to see this kind of view from most of the MDC Alliance guys, but I think you need to think deeper here. If Mwonzora is co-opted into government, it's going to totally change the politics in Zimbabwe, because the opposition politics has been a lot of fighting, but without results. If Mwonzora starts showing results, it's going to change the mind of many people. But as long as it's outside now, I do not see the value of him being friendly to ZANU-PF and then getting nothing in return. Chris Madede Gumbo, MDCT is not a big political party. I do not agree with you, Chris, because MDCT has got MPs, whereas MDC Alliance does not have MPs. So if Mwonzora was to go into government and he strikes a deal with Mnangagwa, they can actually strike that deal and keep Chamisa out, especially if they decide to postpone the elections. With COVID, it's possible. Anything is possible. Right. Let's look at Mbongeni Nduliki. So that is not a secret. How did you get to know if it is a secret? Obviously, some secrets are there to be found out. And my job is to know people. I know a lot of people who tell me a lot of things. Right, let's look at, I think we've got very thin comments today. Let's look here. Finally, I get to hear Mwonzora speak. He sounds a lot better than Chamisa. I think I like Mwonzora's speech. I like a speech of unity. And I like it, the fact that Mwonzora was speaking in front of Mnangagwa. Right, this is very significant. Chamisa will never be able to make the kind of speeches that he makes in front of Mnangagwa. But if you look at the speech that Mwonzora was making,
we have adopted a new philosophy, a new way of doing our politics. First of all, we must be guided by what is in the best interest of our people. what is in the best interest of the Zimbabwean masses. It must be the Zimbabweans first and our political self-aggrandizement second. Your Excellency, on my part, on the part of my party, we urge a new politics in this country. Gone are the days of politics of rancor, acrimony, violence, hate, and intolerance. We want to substitute this with the politics of rational disputation and tolerance. You are because I am. I am because you are.
Right. So if you hear what Mwonzora is saying here, that is change. This is the change that people want. They want Zimbabwe to normalize. And if Mwonzora continues to get the stage that he's getting in front of ZANU-PF leaders, in front of an audience, he was on ZBC today, he's growing his profile, people will start to warm up to Mwonzora. I don't doubt that people will start warming up to him and try to understand him. Obviously, politics is not all about fighting. The problem with fighting is when you stop fighting, what are you going to do? So this is where I think Chamisa has been very, very weak. He has not been able to translate himself from someone who is in the opposition to someone who is governing. You saw the chairman of the MDC Alliance, Trustnjov, was here last week. He explained that the problem that they're having is not winning elections. The problem that they're having is they cannot take over. How do you take over if you're not in the system? I always say this. You cannot take over a system that you're not part of. You first of all have to be in the system. Then you can think of taking over. And I always give the example of you pass a chicken in and you see that it's not clean. They are not selling at the right prices. You can't tell them from outside. But if you look for a job in there, you get a job, you can walk to the manager's office and say, manager, this is not what we want to change. And eventually you will become the manager in that shop. So what we have now is Chamisa is the guy who is a customer. He's outside. He's saying to the government, you're not doing the right thing. Mwonzora, if he gets co-opted in the government, he can start changing things. And maybe in a few years, he can take over that government. So let's continue with the comments. I want to look at a few more comments here. There is no neutrality there. Gambakwe, alliance rely on people, not on what you are saying. Okay. Let's look at Muchaneta. Agara arimo muzanu. So why worry? Okay. So he was always in ZANU. That is Mwonzora. At least Chamisa is fighting for a good cause. All those who join ZANU history will judge them. And I want to say, Muhale, how is Chamisa's good fight going to translate into office, getting into office? Remember, that is where we say the problem is. He cannot just continue to fight a good fight. How is he going to take over? That is a very good question. And Massima's MPs is not the people. Paurosi, keep on knocking sense into these guys. They are lost and always in denial. And I think Chamisa is going to start understanding if Mwonzora is put into government. He's going to see how many people in his party who are MPs don't really care about what he's saying. Because people want, after all, they want positions, they want to become something in government. Most of the people that are in parliament, they are going to go with Mwonzora. They're not going to wait for Chamisa to sort himself out. Let's look at a few more comments. Mwonzora must denounce corruption, not this praise and worship, then Zimbabwe will find. I don't think today Mwonzora spoke about anything to do with praising corruption. Mona Lisa, look, Gambakwe, Mwonzora is a sellout. He saw the people struggle. MDC was at its strongest when Mwonzora rebelled. It is not new. It did it and later came back. Mwonzora is not different. Okay, I don't think Mwonzora rebelled. What I think is the problem that we have, obviously, is there's polarization within the opposition, and ZANU-PF is capitalizing. They are taking advantage of this situation, and it's working to their advantage. Let's go to the last one. MDCT will be swallowed by ZANU-PF. The fact of the matter is that ZANU-PF always wants a one-party state. Right. I think we basically have a lot of comments here, and you guys can go and read these comments. But the fact of the matter is that today was historic. What happened today has never happened anyway. And you are going to see a very, very new kind of politics in Zimbabwe. These guys were in a chartered flight. So ED Mnangagwa did not put them in a flight which was going to Victoria Falls. They chartered this plane to go over there. This was not a thing that was planned in one day. They planned this thing over a long period of time. I foresee a very, very big change, and I foresee some sort of GNU here. Because if they miss this one, if Mnangagwa just leaves it the way it is, Chamisa is going to get stronger. At the moment, the advantage is with Mwonzora because of the MPs, the Harvest House, the fact that he has managed to win at Congress. And as you know, Chamisa never really managed to do the Congress when he was in MDCT. He tried to do a Congress with BT, Watchman Ngube, and the other guys. But as you can see, that is not working. People like Watchman Ngube, they've gone away. Tendai BT basically abandoned Chamisa when he continued in parliament after Chamisa had said that he did not accept the Supreme Court judgment. So basically, BT had just gone with whatever had happened. He had agreed with the Supreme Court ruling. And you will see that as time goes on, as BT sees that his influence is getting less and less, as he is out of parliament, he could surprise you with the next move that is going to take. His commitment to the MDC alliance won't be as strong as it was. So basically, the opposition, the MDC alliance, slowly getting dismantled by ZANU-PF. Then Kleto Vembo, Gambakwe unorwadziwa na Chamisa. Well, I don't even want to answer this one. All I can tell you is 10 years from now, I will still be running Gambakwe Media. I don't know what Chamisa will be doing. I'm not into politics. I run my business. So I'll continue doing what I'm doing, and I'm not going to wait for Chamisa to be in power so that I can start doing stuff. I do things now. I don't wait for the future. Even if they can do a GNU, they will never go anywhere, my brother. I do not agree with you. Trust. I think this time it's different. If the people in Zimbabwe just unite, things can happen. I do not think that we have to wait for one person for things to work. But obviously, they have to bring people along. So there's a lot of marketing to be done. There's a lot of selling to be done. The idea of having a united country is good. But they also have to work on the economy. They have to put cash in the ATMs. They have to make sure that things are stabilized. They have to make sure that the economy works. If the economy works, then everything will be fine. Gambakwe, you're always against Chamisa. Your platform is biased. No, I'm not biased. In fact, on Saturday, I'm going to be having Chief Soshe here. We've got an appointment, 9 o'clock Zimbabwe time. You can have Chief Soshe here. We'll be talking. I am not biased. I'm not interested in one side or the other, but the facts speak for themselves. Mwonzora was in Vic Falls today. He addressed in front of ED Mnangagwa, Chiwenga, Isaac Moyo, Owen Muda. Chamisa has not managed to do that. So look at the progress that one guy makes with his approach versus the other. imagine if Chamisa could get that platform and use it. So at the moment, he is not able to do it. His strategy is not working on the ground. It's working on social media, but he's not able to translate himself from a social media president to a real president. And it's a shame because Chamisa got so many votes. And I want to show you something. This is a page from Pindula. I hope you guys are seeing this page. Pindula is one of the oldest newspapers in Zimbabwe online. These guys are good. So go to, these are the votes that people got officially from ZEC. Chamisa got 2151927, which is 44.39% of the votes. Mnangagwa got 2456010, which is 50.67% of the votes. And you see how close this is. But Chamisa still failed to translate these votes into something meaningful because strategically, he is not seeing how that big constituency that he's got can be translated into leverage. So he needs to know that you can leverage all these 2.1 million people to something, but he's not doing it. A guy like Mwonzora, he contributed to that 2.1 million votes, but he's able to bring himself from nowhere in the party to the top, to addressing a rally with or a meeting with Mnangagwa. Imagine if he was to go into government. There's something there to learn for Chamisa. You cannot always push and always fight against a frontal attack. He also have to learn to attack from the flanks. Make sure that you surprise ZANU-PF. And this is where Chamisa is failing. His people are getting attacked. They are being removed from positions. I know BT likes to be in parliament. He's been removed. I know all the other MPs that were recalled, they want to be in parliament. They've been removed. Personally, they're going to lose their cars. Some are going to lose their houses. Most don't have an income at all. And at the end of the day, for what? This is the kind of thing I'm saying, that these guys, their strategy is not working, and Mwonzora's strategy is working. So basically, this is where we are at the moment. And as I said, it would be a missed opportunity if Mnangagwa was to just leave the situation the way it is. If he was to appoint Mwonzora somewhere in government and also bring in a few more opposition people, most of these people that he has there in POLAD, because it has to be meaningful. Just going to POLAD is not meaningful. So there has to be a meaningful concession from Mnangagwa's side, and then it will make sense. Right, that is Gerald Majo. Pardon, Mwonzora. I don't think it works, man. That won't work. Pardon, Mwonzora. Chamisa anevanu, Mwonzora anezanu. Well, you heard what Job Scala said. Having people is not a strategy. You need to have a proper strategy. Because if you just have a bunch of people and fail to do anything with them, then it is basically nothing. It's useless. Right. I think we're going to end at this particular point, and I'm going to leave Trust Tavimbika. That is the last comment I'm going to read. I'm begging you, Gambakwe, if you want us to call you a proper journalist, please be neutral and kumbirisa. Check both sides, talk advantages and disadvantages from both sides for you to be fair. So I get you. Obviously, what I'm saying is not tasty to everybody. Some people will like it, some people won't. But what I can tell you is that if you look back after 2 years, you understand what Mwonzora is doing. Mwonzora is getting into government, is getting things done, while Chamisa is talking about it. Right, thank you very much for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow with another topic. And On Saturday, I've got Chief Soswe from MDC, 9 p.m. Thank you very much and good night.
Come back with media. Rocking now. Hatichada kusha imba hatichada. Hatichada kusha mabasa hatichada. Hatichada kuchika nokote shironda. Hatichada. Hatichada shipatara shakafak. Mabengi hamuna kesh. Hatichada panu havana kesh. Hatichada. Jokwadi says Rakiri hatichade in the next 5 years itengeta papi mukufamba mumwe anongo pindura senge papa nenge afa asi kuva ndiyo chete chinu chinenge chafamba zvimwe zvese zvakamira kunge kombi sina tiziri takangogara panzvimbo 1 semota isina mavhira pana kuti une plani kuzama ese maskiri kuti muri irarame kutsvaga mamwe madhiri izvozvo taramba ndati hatichada izvozvo ndaramba hatichada izvozvo taramba ndati hatichada hakuna zvakadaro hatichada kushaimba hatichada kusha mabasa hatichada kudya nokodze zvironda hatichada zvipatara zvakafaka mabengi hamuna kesh hatichada vanhu havana kesh hatichada kushaimba hatichada kusha mabasa hatichada kudya nokodze zvironda hatichada zvipatara zvakafara mabengi hamuna kesh hatichada vanhu havana kesh hatichada chokwadi sezvachiri hatichade in the next 5 years itengeta papi mukufamba mumwe anongopindura senge papa nenge afa